Hey everybody. Oh, hold on. There you go. All right. All right. Where do I start here? Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 and versus. Sorry, all my other 90s kids. I didn't watch this until this past weekend. The original. My wife swears by it, so I watched it. Uh, was it complicated? No. I had no idea what to expect except the way the three witches looked, and they had that little like side to side walk. So I was just like, whatever. But the main story, I'm sure everyone except me knows, is you have the angsty teenage boy that is in a new city, Salem. Um, he's not all about Halloween. He has a sister that is the witch. He burns the candle because the virgin will light the candle and bring the witches back. But he then he has to try to protect his sister, his maybe in the future girlfriend, love interest, and there's also, there's a flashback to when the witches were doing this in Salem in the 1600s, and the brother that of another girl that was too late, and the girl had her life force drained. Is now an immortal cat helping the boy in the future. Yada yada yada. They defeat the witches, and in my mind, so the witch is like poof, right, and they're gone, right. Very straightforward story with a boy that has to overcome a little bit of himself, get courageous. He has to ward off some bullies, whole 9 yards, whole 90s. Then we move to the second one. So what do I think about the first one? Nothing great. I'm sure there's, don't come at me with pitchforks, but a lot of nostalgia goggles. But it was simple and basic hero's journey. It's where you had, evil in the witches. Nothing too crazy because it's a kids movie. Like they think the devil is their master. They see a guy dressed up as the devil. But simple, because that's all it needed to be. Now move forward to the second one. So the second one starts off with the Sanderson sisters, younger. And I guess they're trying to draw sympathy for them, kinda, because they just show them as three little orphan girls, and they mess with the mayor. There's really not much to it. I guess I don't know their names, but the oldest sister either gets the two younger sisters out, and then they mess with the mayor by setting his house on fire. Kind of terrifying. That was it. And then they go to the future. And in the future, it's like three high school girls, and they kind of do witchcrafty stuff, stones and crystals and stuff. But one of them broke off because she's dating a guy, and this is like the dumbest man I have seen in a movie since Ghostbusters 2016. So there's a guy that owns a shop. He makes a new black flame candle. Those girls light it because it's like the main girl's birthday out in the woods. The Sanderson sisters comes back. They burst out into song. There's songs in the first one, but they were at a concert. That made sense. Also, they do the same thing here, but they're singing. And the girls are like, what's happening? Those are the Sanderson sisters. But they're off in the distance, just like singing for some reason. So, they find the high school girls. I guess they're trying to figure out how to get rid of them, but they're like, oh, you can just get kid immortality potion from Walgreens, and they're like drinking lotion. Disgusting. But then they realize they've been duped. They use salt, the girls. get away. So, long story short, almost the exact same beats here. And the current mayor looks exactly like the old mayor from when the Sanderson sisters were kids. And I thought they were gonna take this angle of like that mayor figured out witchcraft and figured out how to live forever, which would have been interesting. But he's just a descendant, and that's it. That means one of the girls, high school girls, is a descendant as well. So they're trying to get her. They're trying to sacrifice her. Oh, they're doing the like awesome super witch spell. They need a piece of her blood, drop of her blood. So they get the same old husband whose head comes off, the owner of the store, to give them to run errands. And they get some blood, and the spell is cast, but at the cost of what you prize the most. And so for the red-headed sister, it's for her two sisters. They poof, and redhead sister's like, please bring them to me. So the new girls cast the spell. They say it doesn't bring them to you. It brings you to them, and she starts poofing as well. And for some reason, the main high school girl is a witch. She has witch powers. How? I don't know. So it's like she was practicing, the main one practicing, so she's actually a witch. Okay, so that's it. Also, almost the same beats here. They have a Sanderson sister lookalike contest. They don't win, so they do the same thing where they start singing a spell to get the townspeople to look for the mayor for them. Okay. So that's it. I would argue in almost true Disney fashion, they try to have the Sanderson sisters portrayed as victims a little bit, but they're still servants of the devil. And it I don't know. And that's the movie. So I have seen plenty of people on social media. It's funny because you can showcase yourself about to watch it, but I guess you also have to give a review. My wife described it as I was entertained by it more than I thought I would be. I personally did not like it as much as I thought I would. Yes, it was entertaining, but I don't know. There wasn't as much hero's journey for me because none of the protagonist high school girls, there wasn't much of you connecting to them. Like they had to do a lot of backstory for they didn't have to, but for the sisters. For the high school girls, it was like you met them and they were friends. One of them broke off because she got a boyfriend. But aside from the girl whose father is the mayor, you don't see their families or connect with them. Like with the original, maybe it's because it was fewer people, but with the original, you had the boy, didn't want to be in that town, wasn't a fan of Halloween. His sister really was. He had to protect his sister. He had a love interest that her family was very much into Halloween. And then you had the cat who felt remorse for not being able to save his sister. And he took a vow to, one, prevent people from bringing the Sanderson sisters back, and to help the new kid, I think Max, I don't know, help the new kid help his sister because he was not able to. Lots of themes there. There was not as many in the new movie. It was just kind of like, what? Like, set your differences aside, come together. But it's like, boom, we have witch powers. I'm like, that was quick. Okay. So the unfortunate thing, I should have gotten pictures from the old movie. But the unfortunate thing is, this was like pure nostalgia, bait, trap, set, match. It added nothing to the story. You know how the Star Wars, I always talk about Star Wars because I love it. But you know how the Star Wars sequels, it turned into Palpatine being under control. So every single sacrifice Luke Skywalker fought for, Anakin sacrificed his life. He was the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. But then they scrub all that out. So the fact that Palpatine is back means everything they fought for meant nothing. I think I looked at the original actors of Hocus Pocus, and I feel like most of the original ones weren't even asked to come back. Like the main, the high school boy, I think he's like, it would have been nice to have been in it, but I hope people like it. I'm just like, okay, so everything you and I think Banks is the cat's name did means nothing because all you gotta do is do it again, make a new candle, like they hint at the end of this movie, and it's all gone. So you could not watch this movie and be perfectly content with the old one. Because then if you watch the second one, now it's like, all right, well, now it's open ended. And who knows what's going to happen. So, I will say when they did the flashback, when the Sanderson sisters, that's hard to say, were little girls, little girl actresses that play those roles, like perfection. The little redhead girl, awesome. But I don't know. I was happy to finally see the first and get that like old holiday cozy autumn pumpkin spice feeling like you would get when Christmas movies come around. Spider-Man's a Thanksgiving movie. Think about that. Anyway, I was happy to see that, but this, I don't know, man. Like, to make something new requires risk. To just reuse an existing property is safe and you have an audience, and it just lets me know that you're running an assembly line. Like, this is not creativity to just reskin everything. I mean, seriously, it's like Sanderson sisters are back. High school boy, let's do high school girls. That's really it. I don't remember the supporting cast in the first one, but it's like cat from the past, this shop owner that also has a black cat, coincidentally, beheaded, or the dead husband with the mouth sewed shut. Bring him back. I think it was like, I forget his name, famous actor. He's tall, does a lot of creature work, whatever. But man, it's cool to look at, but it's the same thing. Like, don't you dare make a Jingle All the Way sequel. I don't know if Disney did that, but don't. Just leave it alone. It's funny I'm saying this, but there's a new Deadpool coming out with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But some of these things where it's like it hasn't been touched for 30, they have the exact dates, 29 years. It's been 29 years since the Sanderson sisters were seen. Even the shop owner's like, 29 years ago when I was a kid, I saw you. And I wanted to follow in your footsteps for some weird reason. Pinocchio. Dumbo. We had the originals. Now this is a sequel, but they're just like, you could say it's a sequel, but the same stuff happens. We gotta, remember Star Wars again, when the new Death Star came. Well, it's the Death Star. How do we blow it up? It has to be a weakness. Yeah, Harrison Ford. That's exactly what we're looking at in all these remakes. All right, well, I waited too long to watch the original, but I'm glad I did. And I had the superpower of watching the sequel so closely behind the original. Like we watched the old one night, watched the second one the next night. We had to split it up into 2 nights because we're old and we can't stay up too late because we get too tired. But I was able to compare them side by side. So if people hadn't seen the first one in so long, I was able to, I can appreciate it as an adult now, but also able to look at it critically and then compare it to the new one. And I was like, I would have been happy with the old one. This new one, it wasn't quite there. They had, in the original one, they made this little joke about they need a broomstick. So one main girl got a broomstick, but the other one had a mop. And then it was something else. This one was a broomstick, a Swiffer, and then 2 little Roombas on her feet. That made me laugh. But, I don't know. I'm getting remake fatigue. So, anyway, let me know what you think. Sorry if it took me 29 years to watch the first one. I was busy with Marvel. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Bye-bye.